What's really going on behind Jungkook's calm smile while live amid the rumble of BTS's comeback? Why isn't Taehyung around? And who is the woman who managed to get Jungkook's mother to speak up in private only to refuse her blessing? Failed blessing. Jungkook's mother rejects his new girlfriend, and this is why Jungkook avoids Taehyung in LA. Did Jungkook's love run aground not because of differences, but because of a blessing that never came? Is it true that the mother of this most beloved idol rejected the woman she so secretly fought for? And why, in the midst of the euphoria of BTS's return, does such a striking distance arise between two old friends, Jungkook and Taehyung? The world wondered, and we tried to unravel this story, like a puzzle that was never solved by anyone, not even the most loyal army. And no one expected that night, when Jungkook appeared in his live broadcast session, the first time after completing his military service with Jimin, it wasn't just happiness. There was a pause. There are doubts. There was a heavy breath that was held between a light joke about a Justin Bieber song that he played and the advanced microphone quality that he showed off as usual. But something is missing. There was someone who used to sit next to him, joking, staring with meaningful glances, who this time was not seen at all. Where's Taehyung? The question didn't just arise once, but continued to haunt throughout the live. Even as Jungkook smiled as he discussed BTS's planned comeback in 2026, with an album and world tour that would reunite all 7 members in full, his heart seemed to be left somewhere in Los Angeles. And more surprisingly, it wasn't because of work, it wasn't because of promotion, it wasn't because of the demands of the company, but because of something much more personal, a mother's blessing. Did I ask it true that Jungkook is in a serious relationship with someone unknown to the public? Not a celebrity, not a Korean actress, but someone from a completely different world, an Asian American woman purportedly known among digital music creators and active in LA's creative community. This mysterious figure is said to accompany Jungkook in many silent moments, from production sessions to leisurely trips that never get into the camera frame. He is not part of the Korean entertainment world, and that is the beginning of all rejection. A source close to HYB's staff said that Jungkook's mother made a surprise trip to the United States after hearing about her son's closeness with this woman. In a private meeting that took place at a quiet restaurant outside the Beverly Hills neighborhood, the mother, who is known to be very selective about Jungkook's social environment, expressed her disagreement directly. Not because of appearance, nor because of background, but because not in line with family values. The sentence sounded light, but the impact on Jungkook's personal life felt like a small crack that made the entire foundation falter. He becomes quieter, more cautious, and seems to shy away from many people, including from the man who has always been known as his soul friend, Taehyung. What does this failed blessing have to do with the quiet tension between Jungkook and Taehyung? Why in their personal schedule in LA, the two names never again side by side? In fact, during this time they were known to be very close, sharing the stage and even vacation time together. Is it about the same woman? Or was it something Taehyung said that made Jungkook choose to keep his distance? This question gets heated when one of the video clips shows Taehyung entering a studio with a cold expression, while a few minutes later, Jungkook exits the same place through the back door. Is this just a coincidence? Or is it a sign that there is an unspoken conflict? And more importantly, who exactly is the woman who is able to shake up the dynamics of a relationship that has been considered unshakable by fans so far? There is also speculation that the woman had professional connections with Taehyung, related to an international music project that was not released in early 2024. Complicated work relationships, feelings that did not have time to unfold, or maybe just a misunderstanding that ultimately led to each other's choice to move away. However, when Jimin, who had just returned from the military, took part in Jungkook's live broadcast and mentioned, "Sometimes we need time to be alone," many fans felt there was something to hide. What does Jimin really mean? Does he know more than he seems? Was he trying to protect Jungkook from too much glare? And is it true that Jimin is the only member who is still Jungkook's emotional counterweight in the midst of huge pressure from his family, company, and the public? On the other hand, Jungkook's own mother is known as a figure who has a strong influence on important decisions in her son's life. She is present not only as a mother, but also as an advisor, protector, and in this case, the final decision maker in the most difficult possible matter: love. But is the decision really based on merit? Or are there certain traditional values that he has not been able to let go of in the modern world as it is now? When a video clip from Jungkook's latest solo album, allegedly inspired by his love story, was leaked to the public, showing a man walking away from a woman staring at him from a distance, fans immediately drew a common thread with the story. Is the video an indirect expression of a failed blessing? And deeper, is the song a hidden message to the mother? With the group's comeback fast approaching and hopes for BTS's full togetherness rekindled, the biggest question comes from within. Will these personal wounds heal before the world stage shines a light on them again? Can Jungkook and Taehyung get back together? Or is this the beginning of an unbridgeable distance? And when BTS's first concert was announced to start from the United States, where this blessing incident allegedly took place, many asked, will Jungkook's mother be present there? Or is it precisely the woman he rejects who will appear in the ranks of the audience, staring from a distance while carrying a love story that has never been legalized? These questions not only created anxiety among the army, but also became a symbol that even the brightest star can get caught up in a very human conflict about love, blessings, and friends slowly moving away. Will this failed blessing be the reason Jungkook moves away from Taehyung? Or is there something much more complex behind all this? And is all this just the beginning of an even bigger story, which they are not ready to reveal to the public yet? The night felt longer than usual. Jungkook's 20-minute live broadcast that night left a much deeper impression than their usual 1-hour online concert. No big announcements.
No dramatic statements.
But every gesture, the way he touches the microphone, to the selection of songs he plays, everything seems to be personally curated to convey something he doesn't say right away. Changes. Justin Bieber's song isn't playing for no reason. The song talks about loss, adjustment, and emotional distress unseen by the eyes of the world. And when Jungkook lowered his face as the chorus played, hundreds of thousands of spectators knew it wasn't just about a comeback. It's about painful change, about hope that never fully grows, and perhaps about someone she hopes to be a part of her future, but is rejected before she can fight for it. What makes the mother so resistant? Is it because of cultural differences? Is there a story that is not known to the public? Sources say the woman, who is close to Jungkook, has a controversial family background, involved in underground music production, associated with freedom of expression that is often considered too liberal by conservative South Korean standards. Would that be an excuse? Or is it just an excuse used to cover up a more personal rejection? Even more surprising, a former HYB staffer who did not want to be named revealed that before Jungkook's live session was conducted, there was a heated debate in the waiting room between Jungkook and his manager. Their voices reached the back of the studio. The words, "I still want to talk to her, even if you don't agree," were heard from behind closed doors. Is this confirmation that Jungkook is facing pressure from both sides? From the family and from the agency? Meanwhile, Taehyung's absence from public interactions with Jungkook even after the two had been in the same city for more than a week was a big mystery to fans. Previously, they were known to never be away from each other for more than 3 days when outside the group's schedule. They are often seen eating together, night walks in LA, and even caught on camera by fans having a serious discussion on the balcony of the hotel where they usually stay. But this time, not a single moment of togetherness was recorded. Not one photo, not one interaction. Taehyung didn't even comment when fans asked about Jungkook during his Instagram live. Did they quarrel? Or just take time for yourself? However, a freelance photographer in LA revealed that a few days before Jungkook's live broadcast, Taehyung was seen entering a small cafe in West Hollywood with a woman who was allegedly close to Jungkook. Their meeting time is only 45 minutes. But the camera highlights show a serious expression on Taehyung's face, and the woman is occasionally seen holding back tears. Have they had a relationship in the past? Or is Taehyung mediating between Jungkook and someone who is starting to feel unwelcome by his idol's family? After that, Jungkook did not appear before the public at all until the day of his live broadcast. She canceled 2 dinner appointments with international producers, declined an impromptu performance invitation from a Korean soloist who happened to be in LA, and didn't even take part in a scheduled private photo shoot. Only one person was seen accompanying her throughout those days, an old personal assistant who had previously only appeared during BTS' busy schedule, now looked almost like her emotional protector. What made Jungkook so bad that he avoided all interaction? And why didn't Taehyung try to get closer as usual? Some ardent fans began to come up with their own theories. They combined snippets of lyrics from Taehyung's latest solo song, which has yet to be officially released but was leaked on Twitter, with words from Jungkook's 2023 personal vlog that says, "If the person you trust is silent when you're hurt, is he really your best friend?" That sentence has now gone viral again and is attributed as a hint that maybe Taehyung knew about Jungkook's mother's rejection, but did not defend. This theory became even wilder when a South Korean army member active in the investigative fandom community uploaded a short recording from 2019 when Jin mentioned in a variety show that, among the members, there was once a fight just because of a girl who had nothing to do with BTS. At that time, everyone laughed. But now, the phrase is replayed hundreds of times, dissected, and juxtaposed with all the events that are taking place. Did I ask this all about rejected love? Or are there other secrets that are much deeper, longer buried, and are now beginning to surface due to the pressures of life after the military? Even more surprising, rumors emerged that the main reason the mother refused was not because of the woman, but because Jungkook intended to move abroad permanently. This news comes from a former colleague in property in LA who mentioned that Jungkook is considering buying a private home and leaving Seoul for the future. If true, then this decision is something that is very contrary to the expectations of the family, especially the mother who wants her child to stay close and maintain the culture and heritage of the family. If Jungkook has to choose between love and family, will he be able to sacrifice one of them? And in the midst of all that, what is Taehyung's role? Is he just a witness? Or is it precisely the part of the conflict that is actually much more complicated than the public thinks? The questions kept hanging. Fans began to feel as if they no longer recognized the two figures who had become a symbol of togetherness and eternal friendship. And when Taehyung uploaded a black and white photo with the caption, "Silence hurts sometimes, but telling the truth can kill," the BTS fandom world was immediately shaken. Is this code? Does he hold a truth that he cannot speak openly? And the most emotional question of all is, does Jungkook still believe in Taehyung? As time continues to roll towards their reunion concert in the spring of 2026, this tension is not only a personal shadow, but could become a time bomb that explodes at any time in front of the world. The days after that live broadcast passed like a fog. No clarification. No new photos. No joint appearances. Just pieces of information scattered across social media, enough to form an incomplete puzzle. However, one thing is certain. Many things are hidden. Jungkook, who is known as the most open figure among BTS members, is now suddenly the most difficult person to reach. It closes its Weverse notifications. He no longer responds to fan comments. He even declined interview requests from major South Korean media outlets who had been looking forward to an exclusive post-enlistment session. All postponed. All frozen. As if there was something much more important than a comeback, something personal, very personal. Many think this is just a phase. That maybe Jungkook is tired. But can fatigue explain the blank stare caught on camera as he entered Incheon Airport alone, with a large hoodie covering his face, and the slow pace with which even HYB's staff did not greet him as usual? Or was it a symbolic step, a sign that he was moving away not just from one person, but from the whole world that demanded him to be perfect? Jimin, the only person seen with Jungkook in the past 2 weeks, is said to be trying to be a counterweight. Several close people mentioned that it was Jimin who accompanied Jungkook when the biggest decision of his life was made, when he decided to temporarily block communication with his mother. Not out of hate. I can no longer explain why love is so important, because no language can bridge worlds that are too different. However, in the midst of the silence, Taehyung actually appeared with an expression that was no less suspicious. He attended the premiere of a jazz documentary he was producing, but did not say a word to the media. Usually, he is known to be full of smiles, friendly, and likes to throw sarcastic comments that make reporters laugh. But this time, no laughter. No words. Only one sentence he uttered in the crowd. There are times when we should not talk. Not because we don't know, but because we know too much. What does that mean? Did he talk about the ongoing personal conflict with Jungkook? Or is he insinuating that the public is too quick to judge without knowing the real story? But if there was no problem, why didn't he meet Jungkook in person? An army veteran who has been following BTS since 2014 created a long thread on X, Twitter, that went viral. In the thread, he revealed various past moments between Taehyung and Jungkook that could be clues to hidden conflicts. One of them was a V-Live moment in 2019 when Taehyung jokingly said, "If we like the same person, who should step down first?" At that time, they were laughing. But now, the phrase is playing again, reviewed, over and over again, as if storing future messages that they never realized would come true. Even in the song Still With You, which Jungkook released in 2020, there are verses that now sound different. I wanted to hug you, walk together in the rain, but your shadow faded from my grasp. Is the shadow the one she loves? A friend who is now a stranger. Meanwhile, incessant rumors emerge that Jungkook's mother is actually harboring a trauma from the past, that she too once fell in love with someone her family didn't approve of, and ended up in a relationship full of hurt. There's speculation that this is the reason he rejected the woman who is now close to his son, not because she was not nice, but because he was afraid Jungkook would feel the same pain. A refuge disguised as rejection. But in Jungkook's eyes, it was still a betrayal of his own choice. And when the decision not to attend the small reunion between BTS members at Jin's house was announced by Jungkook personally via a short message to RM, the atmosphere became even more tense. Jin, who has just returned from military service, intends to reunite them all. But Jungkook's absence and Taehyung's silence throughout the night turned the warm atmosphere into a frozen one. Even J-Hope, who is usually full of laughter, said only briefly during the group photo session, "We miss someone."